talking about shooting, Larry Bird is one of the best shooters, period. Same thing with Ray Allen. Mark Price didn't even shoot enough to be considered a shooter. They don't get it.
Tracy McGrady raised eyebrows by sharing his list of top 5 greatest shooters in NBA history. He picked Steph, Clay, Mark Price, Craig Hodges, and Reggie Miller. 2 big names that he left out, Ray Allen and Larry Bird. Gil, are you surprised that he left out Ray Allen and Larry Bird? And I think if we had to say, probably Craig Hodges? Are you surprised by his list?
Hell yeah. Mark Price. wait, hold on. Mark Price, listen. One, the criteria, we got to ask the criteria is how he judging shooters, right? This is shooters, right?
Right.
Larry Bird is one of the best shooters to ever,
period,
to the NBA. You can't look at his 3-point shooting percentage or how many shots he takes. First of all, when he was shooting this and then pointing, that line was 24 feet, not the 22 everybody's shooting from now. It was further back then for Larry Bird, right? So the 3-point line was where they're shooting at today, when they're shooting all those shots, Lucas double step back, right. That's what a normal 3-point line was. So there was no advantage of shooting that long shot. But when you're talking about shooting, Larry Bird is one of the best shooters, period. Same thing with Ray Allen. Mark Price didn't even shoot enough to be considered a shooter.
I look at it like this, Gil. Who you want taking the last shot, Mark Price or Larry Bird? If I say, okay, hey, wherever you want, we're going to be 18 to 25 feet. Who you want taking that shot?
Mm-hmm. I mean, at that point, when it comes down to shooters, then everybody's shooters based on who they like. As far as preference is concerned, if you don't base it off stats, it would just be based on who you like, right? Because I'm assuming he's not basing it off stats, because if he did it statistically, it would be in order to however it's lined up the best shooter of all time. I'm assuming Steph is first, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who.
And he put Dame up there because, hey, check this out, guys. Craig Hodges won the 3-point contest 3 times, which is tied for the most in NBA history with Larry Bird. He shot 40% beyond the 3-point line. Mark Price shot 40.2% from the 3-point line in his career, and he won the 3-point contest twice. They were great long-range snipers, but not good enough to be top 5 all time. But let me ask you a question. Were they great enough to be top 5 all time? So what about Dame? I ain't taking Craig Hodges or Craig Hodges. No disrespect. And a lot of times we say no disrespect coming. No, right. I'm not taking Craig Hodges, Reggie Miller, or Mark Price over Dame. I'm not. Hell no.
Well, let me look at this one name. Hold on.
3-point shooters.
I can make Gil, you could make a case that Dame is the second greatest distance shooter behind Steph.
Whoa. You just knocked Ray Allen out the box?
No, I'm just saying you can make a case. He left Ray Allen up, but I'm just saying you can make a case that Dame is the second greatest distance shooter behind Steph.
Using Craig Hodges is a disrespect, because you can say Kyle Korver is a better 3-point shooter than Craig Hodges. Yeah. He has a better 3-point percentage. He shot more. He scored more. You can't put the guy as the best shooter. He averaged 10 points. That means he was selective with his shooting. He only shot open shots. And you can't use the 3-point contest as a measuring stick because no one's fucking guarding him.
Right. And who's made more big-time threes than Dame other than Steph?
Yeah.
We know, look, if Clay, it's hard to say Clay and Steph is not in there. But when you look at Dame, look at James Harden. But it's hard to say, Gil, because guys now, they come in shooting more threes. Guys didn't get up threes until Steph started jacking them things up. And so now you see guys like Buddy Hield. You see so many guys ahead of Steph's pace.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that Reggie, look, I'm old enough. Reggie's only a couple of years older than me. So hell, I remember when he came into the league. I'm not saying that he can't shoot, but I'm not going to take Reggie over Dame. I wouldn't. Now, some people might, but I wouldn't.
Like this is even Craig Hodges. Craig Hodges didn't even average a 3 a game. 0.8.
That's why the first thing I said when it came
from the 3, but you didn't even average enough to be considered a shooter in the NBA. You're averaging 10-9. Like that is not a shooter.
Right.
That's not considered a.
You got to get enough of them up. Okay, Ocho, you remember you and I talked about this. It's like a guy carrying the ball 4 times a game, and he averages 7 yards a carry. And they say, man, imagine if you gave him 15 carries, bro. If you gave him 15 carries, he's not gonna average 7 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
So a guy shooting 42%, taking 1 3 a game, but here's a guy that's shooting 6 a game, but he's averaging 38. Give me that guy.
Yeah, that's why I say when McGrady probably picked his favorite 3-point shooters from outside, I don't think he was basing it off people's stats. I think it was based it off his preference on who he liked.
He was basing it off of 3-point contest award winners. That's what he was basing off of.
Well, hell, Dame just won back-to-back. Didn't Dame just go back-to-back?
Craig Hodges didn't even start most of his career. That's what I'm saying. He was a sniper. He averaged 10 points during those times. So he doesn't even have enough shots. Like you're talking about a guy like Larry Bird who averaged 30 shooting. That's what he did. He shot the ball.
Right.
Like Ray Allen he was a franchise guy carrying teams, being doubled, shooting shots.
Yeah.
Not just sitting in the corner waiting for someone to get double before you get. Look, I get it. You want to give homage, right? You're thinking about the 3-point contest, but there's no pressure on those guys for being the best shooter. Like the reason Steph is the best shooter is because how he played the game. It has nothing to do with the 3-point contest. How he played and shot the ball in game, moving, conditioning, the difficulty, all of it. Craig Hodges, Mark Price, they don't have that in their resume.
Yeah. I'm taking a guy because the thing that I love most about Steph and Dame, they shooting the 3 with people. Yeah, can they come off screens? Absolutely. But they getting that shot off with the 3 ball off from 25 with people in their face. Mm-hmm. They letting it go from 30 with people in their face. Yeah. They're the first 2 guys that you say you got to pick them up. As soon as they step across half court, they're in range. Yeah. They're the only 2 guys that you've heard them say, people say that consistently about. And when they get hot now, we know what Clay can get hot like nobody you've seen. I mean, we've seen him hit 14 threes in the game. He hit those 11 threes in the game in that game against OKC on the road that really got them back in that series. But as far as just shooting the ball, I'm talking about handle it and get the ball off with people in their face. I'll take Steph and Dame.
Yeah. That's Steph, Dame, Larry, Clay, Reggie, like the shot difficulties when they had to be great.
Yes, yeah.
That is what a shooter is, right?
Yeah.
Shit, Tracy McGrady is a better shooter than Craig Hodges. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, Craig, but you never hit a game winner in your life, not in the big level. But
I'm just trying to figure how did people see. I think the thing is, Gil, people looking at Ray, his years in Boston and his years in the Heat, and they forget Seattle Ray and Milwaukee Ray. They forget that guy.
No, they're looking at that 3-point. They go best shooters in the world, right? And then you go to Google, and then it pulls up all the people who won a 3-point contest, and then boop, that's my list. Woo! Like, brother, you gotta know your history a little bit, man.
Speaking of T-Mac, Ocho, there's a very interesting video trending on TikTok today.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Hey, he was hot. At that point, I had about 12 on Mac. I had about 12 on it. I was putting the ball on the floor. I was putting the ball on the floor and taking him to school. I told him, like, listen, I told Mac, I say, man, before you come out here, I'm telling you, I take this shit very serious. I know you played in the NBA, but out here, I don't see you. I'm like Ray Charles. I don't even see you. I respect you as a player, man. And he was frustrated at that point. I took him to the hole on the previous time I came down court, and at that point he was frustrated, and he pushed me out of bounds. Yeah,
man, how he look so much bigger than you, man? God damn, T-Mac look like he about 7 foot tall.
How tall T-Mac here? What, 6'9"? What? Yeah, he's 6'9". You know, I ain't number 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
actually, you 6'1", about 175.
I'm 6'3". I'm 6'3". Yeah. Hey, Mac was skate, but I ain't know you know how to hoop like that. Yeah, I know how to hoop like that, boy. You should have had me. You should have had me with you in goddamn in Houston.
No, he good. Tom Brady has a few regrets about agreeing.